But one doesn't have to be a nuclear scientist to pose a critical danger. One of the greatest threats can come from an ordinary man just struggling to get by. Leonid Smirnov's dream is to save enough money to open an animal shelter.
I have always loved cats and dogs. Today I think I like cats more. They're smarter than dogs. If you buy special food for them, it can be expensive. But I feed them with fish and meat, things we can eat at home. Still, it adds up to about $20 US a month.
Smirnov used to work at the Podolsk Chemical Research Institute. He was a foreman, an ordinary job. Except for one thing, he was in charge of nuclear materials.
I had to supply my people with the uranium waste for reprocessing, while I inventoried and weighed the materials. In 1992, inflation skyrocketed. Prices nearly doubled every week. The future was unclear, and we didn't know where we were headed. Unfortunately, my bad luck, I guess, I read an article in the paper. It was about someone who stole uranium, 1,200 grams. But the idea flashed in my mind. Other people are taking stuff from production. Why can't I do the same?
Every day, Leonid Smirnov went to work. But now he had a secret mission.
I began to fill small vials with uranium. Each held about 50 grams. I did this in the safe box when no one was watching.
In Vienna, Austria, the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, is responsible for monitoring the world's civilian nuclear power facilities. With skilled scientists and United Nations funding, it sends out inspectors to hundreds of nuclear facilities around the world. Leonid Smirnov is the IAEA's nightmare, an undetected thief in an advanced nuclear facility, stealing a tiny bit of material at a time.
It's like having a bowl of sugar. If you take a few grains of sugar out of the bowl, nobody will notice. Over a period of time, you may have enough sugar to put into your cup of coffee or whatever. If you take a little piece of nuclear material every now and again, you may end up with what's called a significant quantity. In other words, a quantity which may be feasible to make a warhead from.
In 4 months, I had collected 1,538 grams of enriched 90% uranium in 3 containers. Here's where I hid the containers. They were just sitting and waiting for the right time to come.
Inside his apartment building next to a children's playground, Smirnov had hidden more than 1,500 grams of highly enriched uranium. But he had a problem.
I had no idea where to sell it. I had no customers, had no idea on the price. I just thought of appearing at foreign firms in Moscow to discuss the deal.
Smirnov got in touch with some friends who had been stealing from a factory and selling their loot in Moscow. He thought they could help him find a buyer. Their plan was to take the train into the city. But Smirnov didn't tell his friends the truth about what he was selling.
I told them I was going to sell some metal on the market. It was not surprising. In those days, people were selling everything: lead, copper, aluminum.
Police officers were keeping an eye on Smirnov's friends. Suspicious, they came over to question them.
That was it. Nowhere to run.
Leonid Smirnov was caught. He spent less than 2 years in jail. But No one knows how many other people are trying to steal nuclear material and getting away with it.
There's definitely been significant quantities of nuclear materials stolen or sold from the former Soviet republics. Fortunately, they haven't been together in one lump. There's been a kilogram here, a kilogram there. That's what we know of.